Welcome back one and all, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Tides of Numenera. Where we left off last time, we were experimenting with this artifact. There's a whole bunch of locations and times we're allowed to look at, and I think we're almost done the list of locations. I know we did Circus Minor, and I know we did the Reef of Fallen Worlds at this time, so we're going to continue doing all the rest of them, and then we're going to switch the time up and go through all of them. So Government Square is next. You touch the name and it glows brighter than the others. Far above you, the omniscope shifts into a new position. Let's see the view screen. The bright sunlit square is home to many elaborate buildings. A few of these are made of metal and seem to burst forth from the ground itself. We get some more experience for that. The image in the view screen changes rapidly, showing the square over many years. Centuries ago, there was some kind of rebellion. It spilled out from the bloom up to the highest parts of Sage's cliffs. Leading the charge is a woman wielding a glowing hammer. She is covered entirely in silver scales. She doesn't even have a face you can see. Her followers are numerous, and the leaders of ancient Sages are quickly killed or subdued. Grim. Next location is the Caravanserai. And view screen that up. The screen shows the plateau of Caravanserai. The image in the view screen changes rapidly, showing Caravanserai over many years. The docks have been a bustling center of trade for as far back in time as you can see. In the earliest recording, you can see two figures standing atop this very observation platform, a male and a female. Bright flashes and gouts of smoke suggest a great battle taking place along the cliffs below, until the man activates something on the control panel. A faint veil of energy encircles the city, and the tumult suddenly ends. We're going to go through the next one. It is the Bloom. The screen shows the dark chasm that flanks Sage's cliffs on one side. At the bottom of the chasm is a carpet of debris that seems to flow like a river from the junkyard north of the city down to the sea. In the darkest part of the chasm, beneath a cloud of greasy smoke, is a city-sized mass of living flesh, the Bloom. His name springs readily to mind, plucked from your sire's memory. Tubes and tendrils sprout from the Bloom in 100 directions. Many of them are attached to the cliffs on either side. The image on the view screen changes rapidly, showing the Bloom over many years. The further into the past you look, the further north the Bloom is. It looks like it is moving very slowly south over time, less than a finger's length per year, towards the sea. Interesting. We're doing the Crefton next. The screen shows the area north of Sage's cliffs, below the crag of the city where the land stretches out to the horizon. Amidst the maze of bluffs and outcroppings is all manner of debris, most of it predating the Ninth World. Metal and synth monoliths rise above a field of scrap. A functioning machine perches on the edge of an enormous pit. Strange plants and vines struggle to reclaim land. It's even more cluttered and fantastic than the Reef of Fallen Worlds. The image in the view screen changes rapidly, showing the junkyard over many years. Scavengers come and go. The enormous pit grows slowly larger. In the more distant past, a wall stretches across the junkyard, bristling with northward-facing batteries to protect the city from attack. But as time passes, the wall is abandoned, the batteries crumble into ruin, and the whole structure is subsumed beneath the surrounding trash. Alright, next one. The Garavius Sound, I guess. You touch the name, glows brighter. The view screen shows the vast sea to the south. Two peninsulas embrace the waters for many kilometers, then the sea stretches out to the horizon. The image in the view screen changes rapidly, showing the sea over many years. A long time ago, the cliffsides had defensive batteries built into the rock. All of these have collapsed or fallen into ruin. An enormous marteling whale glides into the bay with a small village built on its back. Before it can reach the cliffs, the batteries thunder to life, destroying the whale and the entire village. Grim. Alright, next time, we are looking at 12, recent past. The screen shows the vast sea of Sage's cliffs, two peninsulas, blah blah. Strange ships come and go, both sea and air, bringing trade goods from places you cannot see beyond the horizon. Okay, we're going to go to Crefton next. The view screen displays the junkyard north of Sage's cliffs. It is cluttered with thousands, perhaps millions of years of debris from prior worlds, strange plants and vines growing over and between everything, gradually reclaiming the land. The image in the view screen changes rapidly, showing the junkyard over days and weeks. Scavengers come and go. A small campfire catches your eye. An oddity in the junkyard. A ridden small figure hunches over it. She looks scared. Oh. The Bloom. The screen shows a city-sized mass of flesh, the Bloom, that lurks in the dark chasm beside Sage's cliffs. Tubes and tendrils sprout from the Bloom in 100 directions. Same thing as last time. The bloom sees a lot of diverse traffic, merchants, refugees, and the destitute. A number of shady figures enter and exit, mostly through a stone gatehouse that is partially subsumed within the mass of flesh. Not a single levy or Sagittarius official ever seems to travel there. Fair enough. We did Grafton, right? Yeah, that's the junkyard. The caravanserai. The image in the view screen changes rapidly over days and weeks. Travelers come and go through the ships with the fish-like passengers or goods marked from Ra Jolios remain in the docks for a long time. That's it. That's a very boring place, apparently. We already did the bloom shoot. Next one is Government Square. We're gonna try to get through these relatively fast. A pale woman with yellow hair stands in front of a magical gateway. Occasionally you see children enter or exit the portal, though never the same child twice. That's vaguely creepy. Cliff's Edge. Buildings collapse into the sea quickly as if something were undermining them. Oh, that must have been when the diggers were there. Fair enough. Circus Minor. You see a vibrant parade. In the center is a man bound in chains. His expression tells you he is walking to his death. Algern and Kalistej pass, conferring quietly as they make their way towards the steps that lead to the reef. The most interesting occurrence in this time frame is when you fell. There's a bright flash. You can see Algern and Kalistej watching the skies, and then Algern twists his hands into the air, sending multicolored energy up into the sky. Seconds later, a white streak encased in the same energy slams into the crystal dome at the edge of the reef. That was us. Approximate times, we are now at 2. The present, basically. Let's look at the list of locations. We have the ocean. The sea is placid. Small number of ships ply the harbor, seeking fish or sunken artifacts. Boring dock area, apparently. The junkyard. Scavengers wander the maze, not all of them human. They pick out whatever Numenera or scraps they can find. One sec, I need to check something. Oh good, my laptop is plugged in. Sweet. Alright, that's all I had to check. Next one is the bloom. Merchants and other scattered figures travel along the bloom's tendrils. A stone gatehouse, partially subsumed within the mass of flesh, would seem an obvious entrance, but few are coming or going through its gates. A number of scavengers sift through the debris outside the bloom, tossing most of what they find into one of the bloom's many orifices. Creepy. I don't know why that took so long to scroll down, but okay. Caravanserai. Why is my computer lagging? That's not a good sign. The screen shows the plateau of Caravanserai. It looks exactly the same as before you. I should have figured that one. I'm going to have to pause after this, I think, just to see what's going on. Government Square. The people here shine as much as the square itself. They are well dressed and obviously wealthy. Many levies walk the square, as well as Aeon priests, foreigners, and a few non-humans. Yeah, something's wrong. It's lagging for some reason. That's weird. Cliff's Edge. Like, really lagging. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out and then we'll finish this up. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Alright, we're back. Sometimes you just need to restart the computer. Let's see if this helps it out. That is much better. Okay, good. Where were we? Government Square? Yeah, that sounds about right. Right, we already did that one. We are on Circus Minor. Oh, that's much better. Sometimes you just gotta restart. The crowd surrounding the execution ground has dispersed. Okay. I have a feeling we could just go look at these things in real life, but you never know. Very few scavengers trawl the reef, perhaps because they believe there's nothing more to be found, or perhaps out of fear. Fair enough.
Alright.
Now what is this thing? A holographic panel appears to be a control interface. In the center is what looks like a utility map of Sagittarius Cliffs. It is surrounded by a number of symbols you cannot immediately identify, and in the upper right quadrant is some sort of cube within a cube. Strange as the panel is, you can't shake a strong sense of familiarity about it. We'll use our thingamajig. Only 75. Worth a shot, I guess. We need to sleep. A memory emerges as clear as if it were happening to you right now. You are at a cracked door at the base of a stairwell. The door squeaks quietly as you ease it open. Your breath catches in your throat, but the Tabat soldiers outside don't notice you. You squeeze through the door, a keen-eyed young girl behind you, and slip out of the tower down the bloodstained corridor and into the city. The city is under attack. You dash through the streets to the nearest of your generators. Pressing a couple of buttons, you and the girl are teleported elsewhere. You find yourself in front of the very same control panel atop the cliff. With quick movements, you shift the tesseract, slipping the controls from space to time. Then you press the cluster of stars to connect the network of temporal shield generators. On the map, the network of generators bursts to life, sharing energy across the city to create an enormous shield over all of Sage's cliffs. The dome of energy fills the sky, unmooring the city from time itself. On the other side of the shield, the world shifts and shimmers, objects and landscape appearing and disappearing before your eyes. The place is the same, you realize, but you're seeing it in many different time periods at once. The important thing is that no one can enter or exit the dome while the city is temporarily unmoored. That should buy the city's defenders the space they need to fight off the Tabat and survive. The memory fades. You stand above the caravanserai again. The interface is the same as the one from your memory, and you understand at least what some of the controls do. Let's examine it closely. The map of Sages has a number of locations highlighted, some of which you recognize. There are 4 symbols around it: a circle that looks like the sun, a cluster of stars, a triangle of 3 eyes, and what looks like a crystal lattice. All the symbols are lit except for the crystal lattice. Larger than all 4 symbols is the cube within a cube, which you suddenly remember is called a tesseract. It appears to be moving. Let's try and determine the purpose. You stare at the controls for several minutes, but you can make no real sense of them. It might be easier if you just try them out to see what happens. Sun symbol. The platform hums, the air pops and sizzles. For a few seconds, activity outside the platform shifts. People flicker in and out. Caravanserai changes. First the ships, then the buildings themselves. You see them as old and deteriorated, then new and under construction on the bare rock, all within seconds. Your platform remains steady, but outside, as if time is shifting as swiftly as the sea. The platform suddenly shudders, then clicks off. The air cools and quiets, and Caravanserai returns to the way it was. After keeping the energy dome active for so long, centuries or longer, it seems that the platform no longer has enough power to remain active. Let's try to connect the network. The bright points on the map grow even brighter, and the platform beneath your feet hums with a growing warmth. Thin strands of energy, barely visible in the sunlight, stretch across the city between each location on the map. At the same time, the faded lines appear on the map, connecting each point. A network of generators, which this panel controls. Then with a loud pop, the energy fades, the humming stops, and everything returns to the way it was. Let's see what the 3 eyes do. The map changes color. Each of the bright points light up in turn, occasionally stretching a faded line from one point to another. After a minute of this, the map fades. A voice speaks the truth directly into your mind. Temporal network connections limited. Please repair the network. The crystal lattice next to the map lights up. Let's touch the lattice. Again, the map lights up and changes colors. The lines between each gap grow and fade. Some of them grow solid, then disappear. Others have gaps in them that never light up at all. After several minutes, the activity ceases and the voice speaks to you again. Could not restore network. Temporal connections have deteriorated beyond repair. Please consult your system conservator immediately. Let's try space and time. As soon as you touch it, the impossible cube shift and move with your fingers. It seems to snap into 2 different states. With unfamiliar gestures, you rotate the tesseract. The inner cube squeezes out and becomes the outer cube, while the outer cube becomes the inner one. Some of the locations lit up on the map change. Among other locations, 2 new lights appear in Caravanserai, one marking the platform where you're standing. The outer cube moves into space, no longer flickering as it was before. Presumably, the controls are now set to the spatial dimension. I'm gonna connect the current network. Nothing there. Alright, inspect the network. Limited, seems to be repaired. Oh, again the map lights up. After several minutes, the map shows a network, or I'll just go skip to this point. Or you know what, I'll read it all. Again the map lights up and changes colors. Lines appear between each point. Some are faded, while others have gaps in them. One by one, each line becomes brighter and better connected to the rest. After several minutes, the map shows a network of points. The control panel ceases its activity and the voice speaks to you again. Spatial network restored. Connection procedure may now begin. Let's connect it. The map lights up again and the voice speaks in your mind. Spatial translation network connected. State your destination. You don't recognize the location of all the points, so you don't know what the name the machine expects, but you do know some of them. We can go anywhere. Colon Village. Destination not recognized. Damn. I don't want to go to Mail Avast quite yet. Alright, well now we have a teleporter.
I'll handle
That's pretty fancy. Alright, there's one other thing I wanted to do. How do I get down? There we go. Oh, I actually have to climb? Screw that, I'm teleporting.
I'll handle it.
We're gonna go to the cliff's edge. Ain't no one got time for walking. You must be out of your mind.
Let's go.
Are these the teleporters? Oh cool, we can just teleport around now. That is fancy. Alright, I need to go back in here. As someone mentioned, we should probably see what happens when we get choked out by the ghost. Worst case scenario, we just end up back in our pocket world. Best case scenario, something really cool happens. Also, you guys may recall we picked up a new character, Matkina, who is our assassin now. Hopefully she's decent in combat. Not that we have much combat to do, she's also really good at speed. And decent at intellect, actually. Alright, draw our attention. I don't want to escape, just let her choke me. Her fingers dig deeper. She's not just compressing your trachea, she's tearing your throat out. You choke and cough, drowning on your blood, but she's latched inside you, and the last thing you see is her rage-twisted face.
I'm hurt.
I mean, worst case scenario, we just end it back. That's not where I was expecting to end up. Well, that's new. The air is warm next to this machine, and you feel dizzy whenever you go near it.
Yes.
There's a door there. And nothing up there, but the ghostly woman's here. Let's talk to her. It's the same ghostly woman who strangled you, but the fury is gone from her face, replaced with confusion. She looks around, her gaze falls on the large machine and lingers there. Finally, she notices you. She steps forward, a hint of trepidation in her eyes. Where are we, do you know? It looks kinda like the buried crossroads, a laboratory hidden underneath the city. A city? Sages? She says this last word softly to herself. Why do I remember that name? She looks around her again. This place isn't beneath any city, though. I don't think we are in the real world at all. I wish I could remember more. I do remember one thing. She puts her hands to her sides of her head. I was angry, enraged. There are... She turns on you. I don't know how, but there are women like me born throughout the city, repeatedly against their will. What do you mean? They are compelled into existence. She bites her lip, uncertain. Then she nods. I'm just a memory, but something is forcing my memory into the minds of women throughout the city.
Updated my journal.
She takes your hand in hers. It's wrong. I don't know how I know, but... She looks away, lost in her own thoughts. When she turns back to you, there is more certainty in her voice. Find them. The woman becoming like me, or already like me. Maybe I'll remember more. Maybe we can do something. How will I find them? They are in the real world, in Sages. You may have even met them without realizing it. I only have vague impressions of them. I know that one of them is a leader. She has sacrificed much of her life, and so gained life in return. She shakes her head, as though to clear it. I'm sorry, I can't tell you more than that. Hang on, I'm gonna ask her one more time. Any more impressions? One of them offers joy and sorrow for coin. Her family is not her own, it's borrowed, I think. Any more impressions? One of them is dead, yet a piece of her lives. Find that piece. Okay. Well, we have some sort of vague idea of who they are. One of them's a leader. She has sacrificed much. I'm glad you came out that door. The thing just showed up. I don't know what to expect. Do you know who the ghostly woman is in that fathom? He shakes his head. Don't know anything about that one. The way is blocked. He shrugs. Not surprising really. It's your mind, not mine. Most likely she's just a lacuna, a construct of your buried memories. Either that, or she's a reflection of someone you met in real life. Whoever or whatever she is, she probably isn't real. You're the only one with that distinction. He chuckles to himself, and me by extension. Alright, bye. You can't go in there, right? Well, we can interact with this thing. Let's just, click on it and see what it does.
I'll remember that. Fine.
We're going back into the weird thing. Oh shit, there's things here. As you cross through the portal, you hear the ringing of synth-plated her synth plate being battered, followed by frantic shouts. Focus, villain! Keep the beast away from me, I need just a little more time. You think focus is my problem? This is a piece of the sorrow, not some broken hound. Camo spots you over near the writhing haunches of the monster. Brothers, calm yourselves. Our friend is not lost as we feared. He will help. Strange. I saw it place a barrier against you mere seconds ago. You broke through it so quickly. He shakes his head. No matter. I have an esoteria that may banish this creature, but I need a few moments to prepare it. Assist Camos and Villain in defending me so I may do so. Or, you know, he could help. How do we know that ritual of yours will even work? Complete it. I will help fight them off. As you say, if you have any knowledge of the Numenera, you may also assist me, speeding the process. Get over here if that's true, otherwise I will complete it myself. The sorrow fragment snarls at Villain, preparing another assault. The threat of violence triggers a deep reflex deep in your mind, and you subconsciously begin to summon reflections of your current companions. Yes, I would like my companions with me.
I wish I had more hands.
How much life does this thing have? 99. I mean... we do have a fairly beast mode character. Let's do it.
Ha! I bet your ancestors felt that.
That was a decent hit. We are going to run.
Nothing can stop me now.
His arms folded and extended in peaceful undulations as he drones in a language you do not understand. Motes of light flicker around his hands, and his eyes meet yours. It's a complex esoteria that I devised to protect against the sorrow. I regret I was never able to make it strong enough for that creature, but perhaps it will be able to aid us here. I don't have any action things. You watch as his arcane gestures and listen carefully to his words. The ritual is vastly complex, but you begin to recognize a pattern within it. He notices your attention. You understand? Perhaps you can assist. With two of us, we might complete the ritual more quickly. Well, I will help next turn, because I just don't have it with me yet. He is dazed and compelled. And moved, apparently. We'll help him next turn. Rin, you just hide. I don't want to be responsible for your death. 40% chance? Ugh.
Oh, what's wrong? Why didn't that work?
Because I didn't leave you with any intellect left, or speed left, sorry. That's gonna hurt. Let's not let that happen. Makina, can you reach combat? Nope. Alright, just move up, I guess.
Like a whisper.
Can you hide? Oh, we can do this though. Let's hit it hard. Oh, short damage is
A
gonna be
little
1.
surprise for you. I can barely scratch this thing.
1 damage. Good job. So much for that vaunted. Next turn you're gonna hide and then try and sneak attack. That was a solid hit. Alright, get back in here. Hit it hard. Hit it like you mean it.
Look out, villains! There's trouble coming your way.
Let's go. We need to do quick fingers. Let's use... oh man, we are really scraping the bottom of the barrel. 80% is not too bad, I guess. Listening to Divyatsu's incantation, you pick up the pattern of syllables he utters and devise a counter melody. The motes flash and shimmer as your voices coalesce. Thank you. That sped the process greatly. I'm afraid that another verse would create too much energy for me to conduct, though. What do we got? Flex skill. Nothing really, just I guess
I'm
move
ready.
Up. Rin, just stay way back there.
Someone needs to smash me.
Wow,
in the
that
face
hurt.
with some healing.
Okay, that really hurt. That was 12 damage to it.
Hey, who keeps making my eyes close? My attack didn't feel strong at all. At all.
This attack is not going to be very good. I mean, it might be okay. 13 damage. Actually, never mind. It was quite good. Is it like you mean it? 12 damage? It's got 7 life left. Rin, you're not really close enough to heal anyone, are you? Okay, I need you to move up here, so?
Of course.
I need you to heal that guy.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
much better. Just like that.
Oh no, she died.
Yes! I'll remember that.
25 experience. With the fragment of the sorrow gone, you feel new connections being made in your mind. It's as though the sorrow itself were keeping you from your full potential. I suppose I should thank you, Villain says sourly, though it's your fault I'm here in the first place. But I'm sure you would have saved Camos if you could. He stops and stares at his hands. They are transparent and becoming more so. Intriguing. It looks at its hands and feet, which are fading in the same way. We are no longer tied to this place. Our consciousnesses are finding a more suitable location. What does that mean? Are we dying? Are we free? Neither, I think. You can see through his head and chest. It means this part of the mental construct is not ours, not truly. We're being drawn to some place that is, I think. And then they are gone. And you are alone. Go. Are they... I thought that would be some... Well, it's cool. I mean, very cool little encounter. But what does it mean?
Making a note.
The Spectre looks worriedly to a different corner of the calm. A new portal has appeared where there was only empty space before. They're in there, he says anxiously. Defeating that first fragment opened up the way, but there are a lot of them in there. I can feel them. They're feeding on your mind. He gives you a nervous smile. It's probably better to get rid of them, but I don't know if you can. You have to be strong. Stronger than you are now, I bet. Alright. Well, I guess we can't go in there yet.
Alright.
We open up another part of our mind, however. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of tempted just to jump in and see what's in there. Let's go take a look. I'm just going to quick save and hop through.
Making a note.
As your body pours from the portal, an ad hoc laboratory comes into view. Irregular catwalks connect several platforms, each littered with dusty machines, tools, and displays. In the center of each platform stands a strong glass tank, glowing like the orbs from a dark fathom you were born in. You have a feeling that, like the orbs, these tanks contain your memories. Each tank is connected to a machine on the same platform. Caustic black ichor sputters from all but the nearest of the glowing tanks, keeping you from seeing or even feeling what lies inside. The oily film on a distant machine pauses, almost as if it has noticed your presence. It begins to drain from the device. The black sludge coalesces, and you recognize it as a fragment of the sorrow, stronger from feeding on your subconscious all this time. Because the fragments have been feeding on your tidal energy, you sense that they are bound to you, at least for now. You may be able to use the machines in this place to manipulate them. A mental reflex twitches, a subconscious response to a perceived threat, calling forth reflections of your current companions. Let's take a look at this.
Wish I had more hands.
He only has 54 life. That's not that much stronger. Actually, it's weaker. Regardless, we're not going to do this part yet. There's other things we want to do. Don't do that. We have to go find dead women, or memory women first. We'll come back here in a bit. We'll come do our mind things a little later on. Is that the way out? It looks very different than before.
Much better.
Nope, that's about right. Actually, that's going to be the end of this video. We are actually out of time. That's unfortunate. We'll be doing another one right after this, though, so stay tuned for that. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.